Pianists, have you ever gotten to the end of a practice session and you start to say to yourself, gosh, what did I even get done in that hour? Well, in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can create smart goals for your practice so that you can achieve more and actually see when you have made progress. And usually this means that you'll be able to make more progress in a short period of time and start to see yourself transform as a musician. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, first we need to understand what a SMART goal is. SMART, S-M-A-R-T, is actually an acronym for a number of things that we want to have as part of a certain goal that we have. And these letters stand for S for specific, M, measurable, A, actionable, or sometimes I say achievable, R, relevant, and T, time-bound. And you might be saying already to yourself, well, I play jazz piano. My whole thing is that I want to be free at the piano, and having specific measurable goals is not going to get me there. I totally understand where you're coming from, and it may sound counterintuitive, but let me explain how you can use SMART goals to actually make progress in your jazz piano playing. So let's take a look at each of these letters and see how could we make a goal with playing jazz piano that is going to be any one of these 5 things. So first of all, specific. So a non-specific goal that I hear a lot from jazz pianists is, well, I want to work on my jazz voicings. Obviously, that's incredibly vague. So probably one more step that I would at the very least want to go is which type of jazz voicings you want to work on. So maybe are these open voicings? Are they spread voicings? Are these left-hand voicings? Right? So we can become more specific about what type of voicings we want to work on. And that would be one way where you can become much more specific in your goals. So I want to work on this type of voicing, and the next step is to make it measurable. And the easiest way to make something measurable is to put a rhythmic value or a rhythmic task on it and make it tied to a metronome marking. Instead of just saying, I want to work on jazz voicings, or I want to work on open voicings or closed voicings, I'm going to say, I want to work on closed position rootless voicings, and I want to work them with the Charleston rhythm. So I want to play blue bossa, and I want to do this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I could practice very specifically. I'm going to practice the specific left-hand voicing, and I'm going to practice it along with the melody. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I didn't use very specific voicings here, but we did closed position voicings in my left hand. We practice it with a very specific rhythm, and we practice it along with a melody. So this would be one way that you could create a at least SM, specific and measurable goal. This next part is that we need to make our goals actionable. But first, if you've enjoyed this video so far, go ahead and like and subscribe so that you can tell the almighty algorithm that this was valuable to you, and so that more people can see this in the future, and also so that you'll see more of my videos every week. This next part is that we need to make our goals actionable. And what we're really looking for here is that we want to have a goal that can be checked off. Right? A lot of things in jazz piano are things that we might say that you're going to be working on for the rest of your life, or that you can never really complete. Like if we just talk about soloing or your comping, if we are general like that, these are things that are never going to be completed. But an achievable goal is not, oh, I want to be able to play like so-and-so, or something like that. It needs to be something that is actually achievable. So I want to be comfortable with this number of songs, and be able to have this number of songs ready to play for a jam session in 3 months, right? And only you can really determine what an achievable goal is for you, but basically this is a goal that you can look at the goal and say, you know, based on what I've done in the past, I think this is possible. And what I'd recommend here is just start off with really small goals to build your confidence, and then slowly you might be able to have larger goals that are a bit more expansive that still feel very achievable to you. So next off, relevant, and there are a lot of things that you'll be working on that are relevant, but I guess the main thing here is this the bottleneck that's keeping me from progressing in my piano playing? So I think that's probably the best way to think about this. What is really holding me back? Is it my soloing? Is it my comping? Is it my voicings? Is it my ability to play rhythms? Is it my ability to play rubato? Like, what's the thing that is holding you back? And if it's not a bottleneck, probably best not to work on it right now. Like, one big thing that might be tempting to work on all the time is just soloing. But frankly, your comping is going to change the way that you play with a band way more than your soloing is. So that might be an example of something that, maybe right now working on your soloing isn't the relevant thing. Maybe you need to work on your comping more, or maybe you need to work on comping with your soloing, right? So once again, we're just looking at what goals are relevant and what are going to actually, what are the things that are going to help you get from where you are to where you want to be in your piano playing. And of course, if you still want to work on soloing, and it's maybe not the most relevant thing, that's okay. Just have it be a part of your practice, but have your smart practice be a larger portion of your practice. So let's take a look at the last one, and that's time bound, right? So how long is it until I can actually achieve this goal? So like we were saying with actionable and achievable with the A, with time bound, we want these to be things that we can put a number of minutes or a number of hours or a number of practice sessions until we can actually achieve this goal. We don't want these to be things that are going to be in the next 12 months. There might be 1 or 2 goals that you have for the next 12 months, but mostly you want to be able to have 5-minute goals, things that you can achieve in the next 5 minutes, things that you can achieve in the next half hour or practice session, things that you can achieve in the next week. This is going to help you make it much more achievable for yourself so that you can make it a much, much smaller goal. So just to recap here, we have specific, measurable, actionable or achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So a lot of times you may not be able to check off every single letter of this SMART in your goals, but the main thing is that you need to be thinking about this. Like I said before, as jazz pianists, we tend to want to just kind of go off and explore. And this is a hugely important part of your practice, but I always recommend to have 3 different parts of your practice: exercises, application, right? We're applying into tunes, and then the last one is free play, right? So for these first 2 parts of your playing or your practice, you definitely want to have these SMART goals. We want to be saying, I want to practice this type of voicing on this tune, and I'm going to practice it at this beats per minute, and I'm going to practice along with this backing track tool that I have, and I'm going to work on this approach to soloing, right? Whether it's blues or bebop, and I'm going to work on specific pieces of language. The more smart we can be with our goals, the more we're going to achieve in a short period of time. So to finish off this video, I want to share with you why it's so important to have these SMART goals, other than just we want to accomplish more and we want to get to our goals. But the second one is that when we have too large of goals for where we are in our jazz piano journey, learning jazz piano can often feel very overwhelming. It can feel like it's never ending. We're never going to get where we need to do. What I recommend instead is having these short, small, actionable, achievable goals that we can use in order to feel like we are constantly achieving something, especially with the achievable or the A part of those goals that we talked about. Having achievable goals is going to give you something that you can actually check off at the end of the day. At the end of the day, you can say, man, I feel like I really accomplished something. Not only is that going to just feel good, but it's going to give you momentum for your practice. The more you're able to have these actionable, achievable goals in your practice, the more you're going to get done, the quicker you're going to make progress, and the more happy you'll be as a jazz pianist, and the more freedom that you'll feel when you actually sit in with a band. If you are at the beginning of your journey and you're not exactly sure where to start, how can I have these SMART goals? How can I actually get the skills I need to be able to play jazz piano confidently? I would definitely check out my course, the Jazz Piano Launchpad. Throughout the course, the main goal of the course is to build fluency. So we build one skill at a time, and I break it down into these SMART, specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound goals that you can use to build all the skills that you need to get to your first jam session. So definitely check that out in the link in the description, and then I'll see you in the next video, which YouTube has chosen for you.